Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is a response to inaccuracy of the 12 tribes sign, part 1. And this is based off of a video that Elder Pastor did last night concerning believers of the way, or as he called himself, BOW, which is an acronym. And I was watching some of the video. I watched almost half hour. I've been kind of skimming through a little bit, because it pretty much was bringing pretty much all of the precepts that I've seen so far that he brought out are pretty much precepts that he learned from One West. I still haven't seen him bring out any precepts that he's learned on his own, but maybe he does later on in the lesson. And pretty much, when we're dealing with the 12 tribes sign, pretty much it's a thing of faith, because we don't know what tribe we're from. We just know what tribe we're from based off of the vision that the Lord gave to High Priest Ariah, which we've always talked about that. We never hid that. We let you know where we got it from. We let you know that High Priest Ariah, it was like maybe 2-3 in the morning. The Lord woke him up, Spirit woke him up. He brought him around to the school because he lived right around the corner from the school. And as he was going through each tribe, the Lord told him what to write down. He wrote it down. Now you can believe that or not. We believe it. We believe that he's a man of the Lord. He's going off right now, but we still believe he's a man of the Lord. And the Lord gave him great revelations, which none of you individuals out there would have known, save, you heard a group known as the former One Westers teach, and that's how you guys learned. But that's neither here nor there, but it's all pretty much based off of faith. So let's get into a couple of precepts. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Because at the end of the day, when the Lord comes back, we're going to know what tribe we are from respectively. Right now, that's just a gauge, and that gauge is something that's written in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, which, Lord, so we're going to hit a few points on that. And pretty much that gauge is to draw in Israel with this sign. Now, I wonder, do these individuals even carry a 12 tribe sign? Point blank. I don't know if they carry one or not. Obviously they don't carry the 12 tribe sign that we have. So I wonder if they do carry a 12 tribe sign, because that is a part of what the Lord told Ezekiel, which was going to be for a later date. Because Ezekiel didn't necessarily have to carry a 12 tribe sign back then, because all of the tribes back then that were in that region, majority of the southern kingdom and a sprinkle of the northern kingdom would not have to be told who they were, because everything was done by genealogy back then, and he brought out precepts on that. Yes, definitely everything was done by genealogy back then. But in these times right now, it's not about genealogy, because none of us can trace back our genealogy, because the records were destroyed, as he also brought out in his lesson. And when we read 1 Timothy 1:3, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus, when I went into Macedonia, this is the Apostle Paul speaking to Timothy, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine. Right. It says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith so do. So we don't give heed to endless genealogies, because at the end of the day, none of us can trace our lines back. Back then they were able to, because they kept the records. After the records were destroyed, it's impossible to keep records that far back. You could only go so far back in your line, and then it's going to end somewhere. You're not going to know where it goes from that point, because the records were destroyed. Because in these times, it's all about what? Faith. So when we read Hebrews 11:1 again, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The 12 tribe sign is a thing of faith. The Spirit of the Lord woke High Priest Ariah up, gave him the different areas, locations here in the Americas where the Israelites would be scattered. And as he brought out in the scripture that he learned from the one Westers, you shall discontinue from your heritage. In this land here, it was said, let's go real quick to the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place, what place is that? America. In the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people. Yeah, because here we were called what? Niggers, spooks, spics, wetbacks, tontos, so on and so forth. So in this same land, if they say that this ain't talking about America, then I don't know what to tell you. It says, there it shall be said unto them, you are the sons of the living power. And this is what's happening right now. They're being brought back to the fold. The Israelites are being brought back to the fold. So the 12 tribe sign is what you could say a hook. All right. And we're going to get into that, Lord's will. So let's go let's go from Hebrews 11:1 to St. John chapter 20 and 24. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Yahushua came. So he didn't physically see Yahushua, right? The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hand the print of the nails, and put my fingers into the print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe it. And after 8 days, again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahushua, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord and my power. Now listen to what Yahushua said. Yahushua saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. So it's a thing of faith. All right. And pretty much he's just helping, vocab and them try to, bring up arguments against us, and I'm just being honest, he seemed sincere. He seemed like he's sincerely, like, I don't really get any malicious intentions from him, but who knows? The Lord knows best, but he's just helping vocab and them try to come against us. Now what I want to know is, how do they know that they're Israelites? Are they going to go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter and say that they're the Israelites? Because obviously you have 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In Revelation 7, it speaks about the 12 tribes, the 144,000 from the 12 tribes. Now do they believe that they're Israelites? And if so, how? What is the proof that they are Israelites? Because there is really no proof. The scriptures say, let's go real quick to Romans chapter 8. The Spirit of the Lord has to open up your eyes in order for you to be able to see and understand and believe this truth. All right, so now let's go from there. Let's go to Romans 8:16. It says, the Spirit, which is what? The Word itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. By what? By the things that we do, and the way that we are based off of the scriptures. But the scriptures are not going to give you every little description. It's not going to say, well, the so-called Negroes are the tribe of Judah. The so-called West Indians are the tribe of Benjamin, and they're going to be located here in the Caribbean. That was something that the Spirit gave to High Priest Ariah. Now, when we go from there, let's go real quick to Matthew 16:13. It says, when Yahushua came unto the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked the disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets, which shows you that they understood about reincarnation. He saith unto them, but whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, thou art the Messiah, the Son of the living power. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. So you can't receive this unless it's given from heaven. A man can receive nothing except it be given to him from the Lord, from heaven. So this 12 tribe sign is based off of faith. Now, if you have no faith, then, and what he's doing too, as I noticed, he's typing in, he's going into the breakdown of Reuben and pretty much saying that was something that happened back then. Yeah, some of those traits that the 12 tribes had happened back then, of course. But there are certain things that are happening today which reflect the same things. Between this in our Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33, those are the two main scriptures that break down who the tribes are and what they would be doing in the last days. And he went into the word last days, and he and he read the scripture in Joel chapter 2, which didn't say last days in the book of Joel chapter 2, but in the book of Acts chapter 2 it said last days, and he tried to use that as an example. Yeah, well that prophecy of visions, that's pretty much a never-ending thing until the kingdom. Just like the curses happen in different captivities, so the visions are happening at different times. But anyways, so that's the point. For flesh and blood have not revealed it unto you, but my Father which is in heaven. Now it is commanded to us, according to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, right here, it's called what? Reunion of Judah and Israel. And that 12 tribes chart, sign, whatever you want to call it, is used to attract Israel. And when you're out there with the sign, you notice that people, Israel, and even the nations sometimes when they do stop, they look at that sign. Or where am I on that sign? And let's say like he made an argument that you have Israelites all over the place, and if they don't see themselves on a sign, they're not gonna inquire. I forget exactly how he put it, but something along those lines. Well, this is where the Israelite foreigner issue comes into play. And that's why we say the 12 tribes are, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and wherever they may be scattered and whatever they may look like, because our people were scattered among the nations and they got mingled among them and looked like them. It's very easy. It's very easy. But the 12 tribe sign, you have to have the 12 tribe sign when you go out there. Ezekiel 37:15, excuse me. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel his companions. Why? Because the nation of Israel was split into two. So lock it for a minute. It says, and then when you look up this word stick, it also means plank. It could be a branch, it could be a stick, or a plank, which what we have out there is a plank. And the plank has the 12 tribes listed on it, because the 12 tribes are the only people that the Lord is dealing with. It says, and take another stick and write upon it for Joseph the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel his companions, which this would be the northern kingdom. Why? Because the nation was split into two. All right. So once you take those two sticks and write all the tribes on them, right, and join them one to another into one stick, and this is why we have the 12 tribes sign. It is a commandment. All right. The 12 disciples, Yahushua and the 12 disciples, the Apostle Paul, all of the men back then, they weren't carrying the 12 tribes sign around. Okay. So when did this take place? This is speaking about now. It says, and they shall become one in thine hand. Why? Because the Lord is going to bring the 12 tribes together. That didn't happen during the time of the Babylonian captivity. That didn't happen during the time of the Assyrian captivity. That didn't happen during the time of the Greek captivity. That didn't happen during the time of the Medo-Persian captivity. That didn't happen during the time of the Roman Empire. And you can't jump up and say, well, Anna, the prophetess, she was from the tribe of Asher. Yeah, because you had certain of the Israelites of the northern kingdom that joined themselves with the kingdom of Judah, and they were still around. But as a whole, the whole nation had never come together. And when we go to, before we read on, let's go to either Jeremiah 51 or 50. I'm not sure which one it is. You know what? Let me just do it this way better. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah, the two kingdoms, were oppressed together. That didn't happen in these different captivities. That didn't happen until now. This is why you had the 12 tribes. You had the Edomites that came over here in 1492. They conquered this side of the world. They brought Judah and the other tribes over here. And from the time when them devils got here, we've been being oppressed. And now we've definitely been oppressed together since the southern kingdom came over here, which is prophecy. That the 3 other kingdoms will come over to this side of the world, to be joined together with the other 10 tribes. And that would be what? That would be the peaceable multitude gathered together. It's very simple, it's very easy. It says, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. Right. So we're still in this prophecy right here. And we will be delivered once the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai comes back to deliver us and remove us from the grip of these devils. All right. So going back to Ezekiel 37:17, and join them one to another into one stick. So do you individuals that bow or believers of the way, do you have a 12 tribe sign out there when you're out there teaching? Because it is a commandment that you have these things. It says, and when the children, let me read it again, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall be one in thine hand. Why? Because the Lord is bringing the nation back together. That didn't happen in the past. There was no captivity where all the nation of Israel came back together as one. So when did this happen, or when is this going to happen? This is going to happen. This is the beginning of it is happening right now. And then eventually, when the kingdom of heaven is established, it will be totally, set up. Because right now, even as we speak, you have Israelites from all the different tribes that do not accept that they're Israelites. Do not acknowledge that. But you do have some that are coming back together, because you have the elect and you have the non-elect. It says, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? So the 12 tribe sign is a conversation piece. It's used to when somebody walks by and looks at it, what's this all about? That gives you the opportunity to open up. Okay, well, where are you from? What's your nationality? Blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. And then eventually, well, we're from Ghana, or we're from Australia, or we're from so-and-so, we're from such and such. That opens up the door to, okay, well, you had Israelites that were scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. You hit all the precepts on that. You can go to Deuteronomy 28:64 and other precepts that speak about the scattering, the dispersion. Speak about how the Apostle James gave, salutation to the 12 tribes that were scattered abroad. Greetings. Because this message is to all of the tribes of Israel. Even though at this time when the apostle Yahushua and the apostles were on the scene, the other 10 tribes are already on this side of the world. I wonder if they even believe that. So that opens up, the door. So, okay, well, if your line goes back to one of these people on this sign, then you're an Israelite, because the Israelites were scattered abroad. But if not, then you're a heathen and you're going into captivity. It's just that simple. It's not really that hard. But one other thing that I noticed of him when he's breaking this thing down of the 12 tribes, right, in Genesis 49, years ago, the Boston crew, the old Boston crew, they did the same exact thing. They went into that. That was talking about back then, in Reuben and so and this and that and the other. It's not talking about in the last days like today. And this is pretty much what he's doing. Now, I don't know if he watched their video and then from that point, he built on that, because obviously every scripture that he's bringing out was not something that he one day sat down and learned it on his own. He got that from the former One Westers. You see? So I wonder if he even watched that video with the old Boston crew, Sa'aj and them demons, because that's exactly what they did. They went through each tribe and broke it down and said that it was dealing with back then. Everything that was in the scriptures in Genesis 49 and Deuteronomy 33 was dealing with back then, when I forget exactly word for word what they said, but when the tribes came into their inheritance, or whatever the case may be, or however they broke it down. And that's exactly what it seems like he's saying. But that's neither here nor there. So let's read this again, Ezekiel 37:18. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? See? So it opens up a conversation. It opens up, because we did discontinue from our heritage. But if we discontinue from our heritage, we would be brought back. The Lord said he will stir up our pure minds by way of remembrance. And matter of fact, let's go to Baruch. I believe that's chapter 2. And 29. And I had wanted to say something else, but it's petty. It's petty. So I'm going to keep it strictly to the scriptures, because, we're not here, for no petty arguments. We're here for the solid information of the scriptures. All right. So this is Baruch 2:29. If you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations. And that's exactly what happened. And this is why it opens up the door for what? Conversation. So like it for 1 minute. All right, it says, where I will scatter them. And that's what happened, the diaspora, the scattering of the nation of Israel. For I knew that thou would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So how are they going to remember themselves? They have to know who they are, because if we're going to turn to our power, to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, how are we going to do that if we don't know who we are? The Lord was going to set up teachers. These teachers will have a 12-tribe sign. This is why it says, let's go real quick to Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 20. It says, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. Why? Because one of the curses in the book of Deuteronomy 28 was that we would be worshiping wood and stone, which is these different religions, churches, so on and so forth today. So the Lord will have to set something up. He will have to set up teachers, right, which are pastors. Jeremiah 3:15. It says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Because they will do what? They will bring us back to the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why here in Baruch, it says for 2:30, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivity they shall remember themselves. So what does that mean? That means we will come back to remembrance. Though you once knew this, what's that? Jude 1:5, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this. And this applies to many different things. It applies to, going back into the history, learning things in the history, and things that happened in the ancient times pertaining to prophecies. It's also dealing with, bringing us back to remembrance in general. Even in, 2 Peter chapter 3:1, it says, this second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance. So the Lord is stirring us up by way of remembrance. And the case where we're dealing with now is dealing with bringing us back to our heritage, because we discontinued from it. And that scripture pretty much cuts what he was saying, because he's saying that, if that's the case, then how do we know what tribe we are from? We don't. And that's the whole point. It's based off of faith. When the Lord comes back, he'll let everyone know what tribe they are actually from. Because the thing now is everybody wants to be Judah, because Judah is a head tribe. But the Lord, when the Lord comes, he's going to separate everybody, and let them know what tribe they're from. I remember this one individual used to be in the camp years ago, he called himself a Judite, and I told him, I said, hey, brother, you kind of got like a spirit of a Levite. You might be Levi. And he like was so heartbroken. Like I told him that he was an Edomite or something like that. He was like, man. I was like, damn, like nobody wants to be any of the other tribes, So I understand that argument, but at the end of the day, it's based off of faith. When the time comes, we'll know definitely what tribe we're from. Because he's saying that's a dangerous thing. Yeah, but if a brother is a so-called Haitian, well, they're from the tribe of Levi, because that's the area that Levi was brought to in the spirit, and at the end of the day, it's not dangerous because we're coming back to our heritage, and at the end of the day, the priests today are not officiating the business of the temple like they were back then. The burning of the sacrifices, the high priest going into the Holy of Holies, sacrificing the blood of certain animals to receive atonement for the nation of Israel. They're not officiating those types of businesses, So there's no danger because the Lord is bringing us back. When the time comes, he's going to let us know exactly what tribe each and every one of us is from. So going back to Ezekiel 37:19, it says, say unto them, thus saith the Lord of power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, because Ephraim was the tribe that was the head of the northern kingdom. And the tribes of Israel, his fellows, the rest of the 9 tribes, it was 10 tribes at the time, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, because Judah was the head of the southern kingdom, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. That's why when we go out there to speak, what are we doing? We're teaching the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. A part of our teaching the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is bringing out that 12 tribe sign, because that 12 tribe sign attracts Israel. And when they read it and they see it, what's this about? There's your opportunity to engage in the scriptures and engage in a conversation of the scriptures to let them know who they are. All right. It says, and the sticks wherein thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. So this is a commandment. The stick should be in thine hands before their eyes. This is a prophecy of the future. This wasn't talking about back then, because now, once the Lord teaches his word out there for a certain period of time, then the end is going to come. It says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord of power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. And this is what's happening right now, because the Lord is building up the tabernacles of David. Let's go to Amos chapter 9. And let's just go straight to the point. Verse 9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. How is the Lord sifting the nation of Israel among all nations? Using the word. So if the word is used, what is it? What is the message? The message is that only the nation of Israel will be saved. That's the good news. So if in order for you to give a message to somebody of what the message is, you have to know who the person is that you're identifying. And that happens to be the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which today happen to be the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and wherever they may be scattered. Baruch 2:36, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from the Most High. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away, because we discontinue from our heritage. They come gathered together from the east to the west, because we came from the east, and we're in the west right now, and we're gathered here in the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High. Why? Because now we found out once again that we're not just niggas and spics and spooks and tontos. We are the Israelites. The power of the heavens, Yahweh, and his beloved son, Yahushai, they are with us. They're raising us back up through his word. And that 12 tribe sign is a part of this whole ministry. So Amos 9:9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. How? With the word. Like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Why? Because the Lord right now is building up the tabernacles of David. And when we read Revelation, the 7th chapter, it gives you the governing body of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe. I don't give a damn what vocab says. The scriptures say that those are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. That's the governing body, the 144,000. The great multitude are also Israelites that were scattered abroad. So going back to Ezekiel 37:21, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen. How? By the word. The 12 tribes is a conversation piece. When the kingdom is established, we'll know definitely what tribe we're from. Now it's all based upon faith. All right. And the Lord gave High Priest Ariel that vision, to write these things down, and that's how you would say, like an example, because of obviously the tribes that were on the islands have come to America. They've gone to South America, Central America, and all over the world. First, they were sent there, in captivity by the Spaniards, and then eventually they started migrating out. When you go to the end of the 1800s, there were 2 major storms in Puerto Rico that destroyed the crops, and they weren't able to work. And guess what? They shipped them out to Hawaii and those different islands out there. So you have a lot of Israelites out there, a lot of Ephraimites out there, mingled among the Japhetic people. Some of them even look like the Japhetic people. So the Lord is coming to do the sifting, to gather his elect, and then eventually all of Israel. No, it says that not the least grain shall fall to the earth. So no matter where Israel is on the planet Earth, no matter what they look like, they will be brought back into the kingdom, into their proper perspective, tribe. All right. It says, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. So this is about to happen. So this prophecy is a prophecy of the end, to have the 12 tribes sign propped up out there so that Israel can see and inquire about that sign, so they can be brought back by way of remembrance. And if they are part of the elect, they will receive it. If they're not a part of the elect, they will not receive it. It says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. Right, and this is what's about to happen. This didn't happen yet. This never happened. We're witnessing the beginning stages of this, which is this truth being taught, and the 12 tribes sign out there, gathering the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all, which is King David, and they shall be no more 2 nations. See? And that's one of the reasons why the Lord told him to have the 12 tribes sign. Because the separations, the Lord is going to do away with those separations. Let's go real quick to the book of Isaiah, chapter 11. And verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. We're going through that right now. And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the 4 corners of the earth. This is what's happening right now. This is why the 12 tribes sign is so important. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Why? Because at one time, the Ephraimites were the head tribe. And then the Lord put Judah in the stead of them. So the envy of also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Why? Because Judah is the head tribe, and anybody that has a problem with that is going to have to take a back seat. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Why? Because the Lord is going to remove those differences. This is what the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, is all about, and the bringing back of the house of David. Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacles of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, which are what? The differences, the separations, the different things that keep the tribes separate. All right. It says, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Right. So a part of this is what? The 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, because King David ruled over all 12 tribes. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Now either the man is sincere, which it seems like it, or he's trying to come up another way. And he's trying to, show his followers that they have insight more than what they learned from the former One Westers. And he came respectful, which is cool. He seems very sincere, which is cool. But at the end of the day, sincerity ain't the only thing that's going to cut it. It's the truth that's going to cut it at the end of the day. So going back to Ezekiel, it says, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Right. So this is what the 12 tribes sign is for the gathering of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. So it is a commandment to have that tribe, the 12 tribe sign. So if you individuals don't have it, then guess what? You erring in the scriptures. Because he's going into how the Seminoles were formed from different other tribes. So how do you know? It's faith, man. Faith. He's trying to do everything like Esau does, trying to, find every little nook and cranny of proof to say, okay, well, this tribe right here is a tribe of the Reubenites. These are the Gadites. The tribes are mixed. During the time of when Esau was here, Gad and Judah mixed together. So there's a whole mixture. That's why the Lord is going to separate everybody back into their respective tribe. And there's nothing wrong with mixing with the tribes. The only time it's not permitted is when a father only has daughters and the inheritance is in jeopardy to go to another tribe. That's the only time it's not permitted for the tribes to intermingle with each other. Okay? So going back, it says, neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, because that's what destroyed us, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, as we read in the book of Hosea. All right, and there's a few more verses, but that's the main point. So you have to have the 12 tribe, chart out there. Let me see. The elder said that dude is a little snake. That sincerity is fake. Hey, well, like I said, if it's fake, then that's on him. We're honest. We're telling you straight up how it is. You could either take it or not. And obviously, he already has his mind made up that the 12 tribe sign ain't right. And they teach a lot of wayward things anyway. They're off on a lot of things. I don't even know. I'm not sure if they teach that the other nations can be saved or not. But that's neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, the Lord's word is going to stand. His scriptures say, and then shall be known who are my chosen. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. And till the next time I say, Shalom.